Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 vs 4 on Autobahn zur Hölle, and in this one I'm going to be using the Gruppe Hartneck division on the Axis side. On my team I have Masked Monkey, the one and only Saucy Network, make sure to go check out his YouTube channel, and Imbrainsane, who are going to be using the 78th Sturm, 78th Sturm and 28th Jaeger divisions. On the opposing side, on the Soviets, we have Tiny Rick Musial, Hoplite and Avocado, who are going to be using the 2nd Guards Tank Corps, Maneuver Group Zugli, 44th Guards Rifles, and the 29th Tank Corps. So this is an absolutely awesome game. I'd recommend that you get comfy, get yourself a drink, because it is a long one, and it was played out on my stream. So make sure, if you haven't already, to go follow me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/VulcanHDGaming. It will be the best way to follow my live stream from now on, as I am definitely considering stopping my stream on YouTube, so make sure to go check that out and follow me there. But let's talk about what I'm doing here. So we'll set it to my point of view and I'll go through some of my units here. So I'm going to be deployed on this left hand side. I haven't played on this side very often, so I thought that it would be a fun idea to give it a go. Normally I either play over the town or I'm playing on this far side, and I tend to kind of push quite aggressively in this area because you are covered very well by all of the trees, but that's going to be left up to Saucy in this one. I've got Imbrainsane on my right, and then in the middle here on these two roads we do have a Masked Monkey. So my intention on the left hand side, you can see that I do have 6 T-34-42s. These are going to be travelling to the far left and hopefully making a push across the open on the far left side to the opposing plateau, with the intention of taking that quite early on. I'm going to be supporting that push with 2 squads of Panzer Grenadiers. These are going to be coming in their half tracks and following up, and then I have a Stug which is going to be sitting on this side and covering that advance as it moves forwards. Then I have 3 units of Right Jaeger that are going to be trying to contest this flag in the centre between these 2 hills, and then I have 2 mortars which are going to help support those, as well as provide smoke to the left hand side. At the start of the game, Imbrainsane does come in with a Focke-Wulf 190A4U4. It does provide us with loads of lovely information about the opposing forces heading our way, and I can see clearly that there are a bunch of T-34-76s, and this does definitely inform my initial decisions, because I have basically met my match here. There's a Tiger there as well, so my T-34s aren't really going to get too far, because my T-34s are matched 1-for-1 by his, and then the Tiger just is the cherry on top, which makes things terribly difficult. So my units are still heading over to the left hand side, but I discuss this and then I decide basically to bail on the idea of pressing aggressively towards the opposing side. So I'm just now focusing on the infantry engagement in the centre. We've got Sappery coming in against my Right Jaeger. Thankfully I do have 12-man squads, so although the HE shells, or grenades sorry, do a lot of damage, they aren't going to completely wipe out my squads in one hit. And you can see that I do quite well to clean up the Sappery, the NKVD, and I'm also doing some damage to the Sappery here as well with the Kar 98s. So you can see my T-34s now bailing on that left side push and coming to the centre. My Panzer Grenadiers were being fired at by the Tiger and the T-34 76 Rozvedka over here, so I do unload them out of their half tracks, just so if the half track gets hit I don't lose the entire squad in the process. And one of my Right Jaegers does go down, but here comes my mortar fire. It's going to help pin down these Ognjemečíky, which are a flamethrower squad, and help me clean those up. It's going to be another Ognjemečíky, but we still have 12 men in the Right Jaeger, so although they are going to force me back with those flames, we can try and run them down a little bit and kill them off. My T-34 is now getting into position over here, and I'm just looking for an opportunity to press forwards once again. I do want to continue to contest this flag now in the centre, as that is the only logical thing for me to do until I get myself some tigers of my own. Because the Maneuver Group Bazugli does get these captured tigers, and they are incredibly difficult to deal with. You can see the Soviet star on the side of the turret there. I have tigers of my own in Gruppe Hartneck, of course, but not until Phase B and C, because in Phase B and C I get more of them, so I decided to put my 2 cards there, and since we're playing a team game, it made sense. And with the balanced income that I have, it means I'm going to just have to be patient in the early game and not go too aggressive, which is something I would normally do, like be super aggressive, but in this case I decide against it. Restrain myself for once. My right Jaeger do manage to sneak over there and get a Panzerfaust shot onto the T-34-76. I'm going to be looking for the second Panzerfaust shot. Meanwhile, my T-34s are trying to engage their T-34s, and we managed to kill 3 T-34s in quick succession, with one taking out the one on the left, my T-34's on the hill killing the one behind the forest, and then the Pak-40 that I have on the right here cleaned up the one on the far side. Now one of my half-tracks does get killed by counter-battery, I believe. Actually, I think my half-track just kind of suicided by accident. I think that's what happened. Yeah, it moved forwards like this, and then it revealed itself to the T6 Tiger, which just absolutely annihilated it. So, lose one of my mortar carrier units at the start there, which was really, really annoying, because these mortar carriers, they cost 90 points apiece, so it's not cheap by any means. Anyway, my Pak-40 on the right hand side is now trying to kill off these T-34-85s, which are causing me issues. The T-34-42s can't really push forwards effectively whilst those 2 T-34-85s sit on my right flank. I do manage to take out an enemy AT gun though, and my right Jaeger still managing to hang about in this forest for the time being. So we have our lovely view of the T-34s. They were on attack move orders moving forwards, and now they are shooting at the reinforcements as they come down the road. We're looking for the kill there onto the Jeep. NKVD going to be looking to finish off my right Jaeger. My one right Jaeger takes 2 men with him. Valiant job indeed. So Monsieur has 2 of these T6 Tigers in Phase A, and they are causing me a lot of issues, that's for sure. My Pak-40 on the right hand side goes down. I didn't intend to have my Pak-40 actually be here. Generally you don't want your AT guns out in the open like that, but it was just a consequence of the way that the reinforcements work. Like when you bring in reinforcements to this area, they tend to use this right hand road, which forces them to come up to this junction if they've got a fast move command, and that can be really, really irritating. So my Pak-40, I basically ended up unloading it early to prevent it being killed as it went up this road, and then gave it an attack move order to the left. It did of course get killed because it was in the open, but it did some damage in the meantime, so not a complete waste. Anyway, a few of my right Jaeger have come in. I do lose one in the Opel Blitz there, but the intention is to throw some more close range infantry squads into the fight in the centre. I also have brought in a Pak-40 up onto the top of the hill here. It's currently being hit by artillery. I was hoping that I might be able to find a shot with the APCR shells onto the Tiger. I think I did actually end up killing off the T-34-76 Razvedka, so I get a bit of recon information, but the Pak-40 now under fire. Do have shot down the main road, so any more reinforcements coming in, I do have a chance to pick them off. Pak-40 now though, that's going to be trying to take some shots at reinforcements as well. Just going to be able to make that unit unload early, but otherwise no damage done so far. So we're holding on. We don't actually need to take this in order for it to be 50-50, but of course I do like, you know, pulling my weight in the team, so I generally try and go for the objectives in front of me, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do here with the right Jaeger. Now, since there's the T-34-76s here and also the Tiger up on the hill, it does unload a couple of my right Jaeger early, just so they don't get killed. This T-34 in the meantime is going to get bailed out, and shots from the right side here from the T-34-85s plus the Tiger does manage to force me to fall back the Pak-40. Now we got shots coming in from the right hand side. Hoplite's T-34-85 still causing me problems, and I'm just kind of in a position where I can't really make too much ground. I've just got to be patient and wait until my power point, which is definitely phase B and phase C, when I have all of those Tigers available. In the meantime, the best I can do is just use my mortar to try and support the advance of my infantry, which is what I'm trying to do here, but of course these T-34-76s making it very difficult. And I can't necessarily move forward my own T-34-42s to deal with them, because otherwise I'll get shot by the T-34-85s on the right hand side. So I'm in a real predicament. I could have potentially smoked off the T-34-76s, that could have been a choice, but obviously didn't think about that at the time. One of my Light Jaeger does get surrendered as the NKVD do get close enough. These chaps are scary after all, and they're going to be finding that surrender. Now, of course, NKVD, they're not actually the most effective squads in the game. The 4-man infantry squads just don't do too well, but here I just get fed up of the T-34-76s, so I try and charge them with my T-34-42s. And as you can see, shots from the right side from the T-34-85 take out one. The Tiger on the left-hand side's shooting at the other. I've also got an AT gun in here taking shots. So we're down to 3. One's transmission damage and shooter knock, just waiting to get killed. The other 2 are trying to have an even battle against the enemy T-34s, but with a shooter kill, it's just a sitting duck. 2 of my T-34s go down there, and the last one is just waiting to die as well. So all of my Russian armor going to be losing out. I managed to get a crew panic, but that's all I get, and that is a massive blow to my forces. Now I've decided to bring in a Hetzer that's just going to sit back here and defend, since my T-34s were doomed as soon as I decided to push them forwards. But phase B has arrived, so we can actually decide to bring in some heavier armor. I've got a couple more Hetzers on the way here. They're going to be trying to take the high ground, and you can see the positions I'm putting them in is just behind the corner of all of these forests. So they aren't easily revealed to the enemy, but they are definitely there if I need to poke around and take some shots. Musial now moving forwards with his T-34-76 is going to advance on this hill. I am quite happy with the Jagdpanzer and hoping that that would be able to take it out if needs be. Do have a commandant now up on the hill that's providing the commander buff to the leaders here. So I've got a 2-star Pak-40 that's now going to be covering from right to left, and I've also got this commander up on the hill that's hopefully going to be giving the extra veterancy to these Hetzers. So they should get 2 stars each, which makes them a lot more effective. And the Hetzer also coming in near where this SDKFZ-11 flak is. Got another mortar on the way as well. Never have enough mortars. And a couple of hussars as well. These infantry squads are 16-man, and they are fantastic for long-range engagements. So the idea would be to use these to cover my advance towards the flag in the center. I do need to take care of these 2 Tigers though, because they are currently just stopping any form of push on my side. Meanwhile, the Russians are doing well. They have the 13 flags, or briefly had the 13 flags to our 12. This point is not captured by us at the moment, so where we're getting an advantage is in the town, but over on this right hand side we have lost this point, so that's where it's evening out at this current time. Got another squad coming in, command squad, to provide leadership to all of the units around this forest. So just important that you do make good use of your leader units, and I definitely tried to do so during this game to give myself an advantage. But I got my first Tiger coming in, and we've got it followed up by an SDKFZ-71. Because we do need plenty of AA. But look at this bad boy arriving onto the field. Can see the smoke in the distance. It can smell the T-34s. Let's see if it can find some kills for us. So my hussars, they are forced to unload early due to them being on this road, so they're going to be running across while the tanks fire above them. You would not want to be these guys moving across the open, that's for sure. But the Marders and Stugs, they're going for that long-range engagements against the T-34-85. The Marder, currently not stopping to engage, is trying to target the T-34-85 that's falling back, and that does ultimately get the Marder killed. HS-129 B2's going to be coming in, and the B3 there behind. Going to be going for the kills onto the T-34-85s. You hear that juicy 75mm gun firing away. Doesn't manage to get the kill, just gets criticals. And now we see with all of the AA there, that one of the HS-129s did get shot down. The second one really not in a good position, as there is quite a bit of Soviet AA currently. Actually, it looks like that one did get out. I think the plane that got shot down was one by the other aircraft. So apologies for that. Anyway, going back over to my side, you can see that it looks a bit more healthier than it did 5 minutes ago when I lost all of my T-34 42s. Now we have a couple Tigers on the field, as well as 4 Hetzers, which are just sitting and waiting in ambush positions for a push from Musial. And the entire intention here is kind of to just encourage Musial to push and then counter-attack. That's like the best way for me to gain back the initiative in this game. So my Pak-40 is in actually a pretty nice position here. It's got shots across without revealing itself to the tanks on the other side, like these Tigers. So as these 3 T-34-76s come across, my 2-star Pak-40 with all its veterancy is just going to be firing away. So that's 1 shot, 2 shots, and you can see we bail out, we crew kill, and then we're going to be taking a shot, hopefully at the 3rd one. It gets out of line of sight, but 2 T-34-76s down in 2 shots. Really, really good job by my Pak-40, and now it's safe to just try and clean them up. It also does have the chance to take a couple shots at the T-34-76s as they come up the hill. My Tiger trying to engage their Tiger here. Musial hits the critical, so I lose out in that case. These Panzer Grenadiers, they don't have any AT, so just going to have to run away into the trees, and my half-tracks are just quite simply trying to get out of the way so they aren't free kills. Jagdpanzer, being an ambitious, might be able to kill off a couple of T-34s. Another one is crew killed here, don't forget, so there's only 2 left that are actually advancing on our position. The ones in the open are slowly but surely being cleaned up. Now my crew does get panicked here by the AT gun in this tree line, so that gets forced back, but I've got some Right Jaeger on the case, and these guys have Panzerfausts, so if the T-34s decide to get any more aggressive, then I can hopefully ambush them. But my Pak-40 still doing a fantastic job. This position was just absolutely key. If I didn't have this Pak-40 here, we would have lost so much ground. But I managed to kill another T-34 on the left-hand side, and if this T-34 decides to continue to the right, then it will also come into line of sight in the meantime. In Brain Sane though, going to beat me to it, brings in both of the HS-129s and finds the kill. And that's a good job, well done. I also purchased my own Me-410A1U4s, which are AT planes, with the intention of also taking out those T-34s, but they're also good for maybe getting side shots onto the Tigers. Just, I need to find a way of dealing with these, because not even my own Tiger could be successful. But I'm going to try again. Going to bring up both my Tigers here now, plus the Jagdpanzer. They all have 2-star veterancy, so I'm hoping that I can maybe overwhelm the Tiger here and win out that way. But there are AT guns to the right-hand side of that Tiger, so those are providing a little bit of threat. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Musial now pushing across with the Strafniki, which are 20-man squads. Look how many of those there are. That's 60 men. Just trying to clean up my Panzergrenz, which just stood on the edge, and of course they're going to do a ton of damage there. This Jagdpanzer in a pretty awful position, currently just being bounced by all of these 45mm AT guns. But here come my Me410A4s. The 50mm AP shells don't quite do the trick. I was going to go for the shot onto the second Tiger, but as you can see the AA is in position and my Me410s are unsuccessful. I bring in Me109 G6s to cover them. We're going to be going head on with the Yak 1B there. That is going to get shot down by the AA after we did the initial damage, and my Me109 G6 R6 is going to be forced to fall back by their AA. This one's just in an awful position. I'm resigned that it is going to get itself killed because it's just flying over enemy territory at the moment and it's falling back. So it's only a matter of time until the Yak 1B does get on its tail, unless the AA takes it down first, which is exactly what happens. I tried to get my Leitjäger into this position where the Strafniki are now pushing onto, but due to this BA-10M on the left-hand side, it did manage to cut down a lot of that infantry, and the fire support from the Tiger and the tanks nearby also screwed up my attempt to push forwards on this left-hand side. I did also notice that there's a bunch of Tigers on the way, not Tigers, T-34s, sorry, so I'm going to have to react to that at some point. For now, I'm happy with my Pak 40 positioning. It's still just cleaning up squads as they try and cross here. You can see those HE shells will force the, or even AP shells, sorry, will force the infantry to unload, and I'm even managing to kill one there, and I believe that was another Strafniki squad, so I'm quite happy with those kills, and this Pak 40 just carrying this left hand side. Now the Tiger on the way, that's going to make 3 Tigers in total. PE2 coming in for the ground run onto my Pak 40. But I've got 2 of these SDKFZ-11 flaks plus the SDKFZ-71. I was hoping I'd be able to stop this IL-2 from dropping its cluster munitions. I wasn't quite there in time, so one of my Hetzers does go down. But really close range to my SDKFZ-71 there. Cleans it up nice and quickly. We take down another fighter with AA as well. So we are still doing a lot of damage to their air force. But as you can see, 13 to 11 now. This point is still in the hands of the Soviets. On the right hand side, this contested point has been taken by the Soviets as well. Far side of the town is not in a good place. It looks like Masked Monkey coming under quite a lot of fire, especially with those T-34-85s putting on pressure. But I've got my own troubles to worry about. T-34-76s trying to make ground. So I'm going to move up my Tiger to the edge of the hill here. Must have pretty damn decent gun depression to take that engagement. But with the help of my Me410s, we managed to panic a lot of the T-34-76s. And I'm able to push up with 2 more Tigers. And this turns into an absolute turkey shoot. So there goes one T-34. There goes another one. This one's gun jam. That one's turret stuck. This one's crew killed. So all of these mixed up criticals basically completely deleted Musial's push, and thankfully my Me410s are able to come around for a second run, take out another 2 T-34s there, and that leaves 2 left as my Tigers push forwards. So really nice here. Now we have Imbrainsane coming in with his HS-129s to try and do cleanup. Does manage to find one, and finds the second. 2 more T-34 kills for those HS-129s. So whilst this has been going on, I've reinforced my AA once again. You can see that I have another SDKFZ-71, another 2 of them actually. So any enemy fighters that try and take down my aircraft will just get ripped to shreds in the sky. And if I put them in range of these leader units, they do get 2-star veterancy, which makes them incredibly lethal. Now with the amount of Tigers coming onto the hill here, I managed to kill the first of the 2 Tigers opposite me, which is really nice. I was really glad to find that kill. Now we're going to be continuing the engagements against those AT guns. Still have the Tiger on the right side to worry about, but that's one of the tough nuts cracked. Do have some grenadiers coming in. They do have the Russian DP. They're going to just hopefully help me push the infantry out of these trees and regain control of this left-hand side. Now, it's not really important for me to hold this area because there is no capture flag, but if I allow the Soviets to take control of this hill in particular, it makes it incredibly difficult for me to not only hold this capture flag here, but these two as well. So contesting this is actually pretty important, but their point is much easier to attack because it's just way closer to the edge of the hill. And one of my Opel Blitz does go down. I get it a little too close for comfort, so I'm forced to unload them, and they're going to push on forwards. In the middle, we have Tiny Rick pushing hard. He's bringing in a bunch of T-34-85s and making a strong old push here. It's going to be followed up by Hoplite. Do have some artillery coming in there. The 150mm artillery from Masked Monkey just trying to prevent that push. Looks like the Sturmschützen did manage to get a Panzerfaust into the side of one of the T-34s there, already joining a bunch of other wrecks in the centre. Over on the left, here we go, Stavniki. They are all now pinned down. The Grenadiers help me reveal them by coming under fire, and I managed to get my mortars on target to help pin those down. But there's a lot of squads here. Thankfully my Tigers are pretty immune to the PTRDs that they have, and I'm now also going to be bringing in a couple of these VK901s, which have the 20mm gun that can strip down infantry very, very quickly. That recon capability allows me to spot the infantry in the trees without the use of my own infantry as well. But I have brought in a couple of these hussars as well, so that we can push forwards. So the Tiger's now just sitting on the edge of the hill here, firing away, getting lots of lovely close-range shots. I've decided to bring in a Tiger E Führer and a 4th Tiger to join the pack, with the intention of rolling forwards from this position as a counter-attack. So since we've sort of absorbed the attack from Musial, it's now my chance to push back. That's the way I saw it anyway. And it's important that I bring a command Tiger so that I can bring the command forwards with me, because if I had an infantry squad trying to run across the open, it would most likely get mown down. So we got 5 Tigers in total, 4 standard ones with the singular command Tiger. Meanwhile, I've just got quite a loose defense here actually. There's actually no AT on this side. We have a couple AT guns provided by Embrainsane, but he's brought those up so that he can engage the T-34-85s that are out in the open. But if anything tried to rush up this road at this point, it'd probably make quite a lot of ground. Unless my Tiger on this side helps us out, but as I already mentioned, my intention is to push up and try and take this point on the far left side. Also, now that we've taken care of one of the Tigers, when I take care of the second Tiger, we can also contest on the bottom here, because currently if I were to bring in a bunch of infantry to push this low ground, it's likely that not only these T-34s would fire at my infantry as they came down, but also the Tiger would as well. It's managed to clean up an AT gun on that left hand side, but one of my VK901s did get bailed out. Just finish off a crew killed T-34-76 there to blow that to smithereens. But meanwhile in the centre things are not going well. There's a lot of units coming in here. There's a lot of aircraft. They're going to get caught off guard by the Focke-Wulf 190s. 2 fighters going down there, and Embrainsane reacting very nicely. Going to be able to take down the PE-2R as well. That bomber going down. There's more IL-2Ms coming in. And well, all my AA on the left side with Embrainsane's flakflings here just ripping them out the sky. That's a Yak-1B going down. This Yak-1 does get onto the back of the Focke-Wulf 190 A8, but I'm going to be bringing out my own ME-109 G6R6 to try and clean up these IL-2s. And that is 2 more IL-2s going down. We're going to shoot down the Yak there, and there goes the other IL-2. So a lot of aircraft lost for our opponents. A massive investment in aircraft gets taken down, and it's a huge swing in terms of points. Now we're seeing the Nebelwerfer trying to hold back the tank push in the centre, but a lot of these points have now been lost. Both of the capture points in the town are lost. We've lost the point on this side of the middle road and also over here. So it's now 14 to 10 as they hold 14 more or 4 more capture points than we do. IL-2 coming in with its AP rockets, not quite going to be able to do the job. Going to be forced to move forwards my SDKF Z711 Flax in order to try and kill these aircraft. But so far so good. My Tigers are making ground. There's not too much that Monsieur will have that can contest them. This one's been transmission damaged, but the rest are okay. And my Hussars are making ground. I've brought up a couple extra Panzer Grenadiers in half tracks so that they have the armoured vehicle so that they don't get unloaded by enemy MG fire coming from these trees. I've also got a bunch of Reitjäger making the push now. Smoked off the T-34-85s on the right hand side, tried to smoke off the T-6 on the plateau, but didn't really account for the fact that there would be a bunch of Strafniki sitting in the edge of the tree line here. So I'm forced to unload all of my Opel Blitz because otherwise they will get killed by the PTRDs, and then when I unload them, the 3 DPs of each squad just start ripping into my Reitjäger, which can only fire back with Kar 98. So I'm desperate to pin these guys down. Going to be coming in with the ME109 G6R6s. Going to be using my ME410s to try and take out the SU-122 there. I was successful in doing so. Unfortunately didn't kill the T-34-76 there, however. And now I'm using the mortar fire that I originally was smoking off the Tiger with to hit the Strafniki instead, giving my Reitjäger a chance to push up. I've also got a couple Tigers here that are going to be helping cover that advance, and my ME109 G6R6s are still strafing. So here we go. My Hussars have made it into the opposing tree line. My Tigers are going to be pushing up on the left-hand side. The intention with these Tigers was to get them into line of sight of the reinforcing road, so that if any reinforcements did come in, I could deal with them in a timely manner. But there is a T-34-76, and it is at close range. Does manage to get a crew panic onto my Tiger, and my Hussars have bumped into a ton of Strelki. Now, because these Strelki have loads of SVTs, they do actually manage to get the better of my Hussars over time. We're just completely outnumbered. If I had lots of my own Hussars here, similar amounts of squads, we would probably win out, but in this case, not going to happen. Now the T-34-76 tries to come forwards on the left hand side, but as you can see, I did leave one Tiger on this ridge so that I could cover my advance should I need to. I do lose an ME-109 to an enemy Yak-3, but the Yak-3 gets ripped out of the sky by the AA, so we did trade quite nicely, and my Reitjäger, with the help of a little bit of smoke, are starting to recover and make a bit of ground. The Strafniki that do reveal themselves are now being hit by the Tigers. Now, I do try and push forwards with a couple of my half-tracks. The half-track on the right-hand side does get taken out. The T-34 that was ahead of us does get killed off by the Tiger. But the intention here is just to allow the Panzer Grenadiers to engage the Strelki, but the Strelki winning out, since they have lots of these semi-automatic rifles, they beat out my Kar 98s at the bottom of the screen there. So I am just in a losing position in terms of infantry, and my Tigers currently can't fire on these infantry as well because they're not close enough to the edge of the forest. So we're still losing out quite badly. It's 15-9 now, and we haven't really made too much ground. This crossroads on the right hand side is also under enemy control, so only 6 minutes currently until defeat. Tigers have got into a position to fire at the reinforcements, and you can see we have an ideal range engagement here against the T-34s as they come in to help out. But with the Strelki in this position, with those PTRDs, they can cause critical damage to my Tigers, and that's basically what's happening here. They're starting to stress out my Tiger as it is showing side armor. The half-track can't sit about again because of the PTRDs, and I've just run out of infantry on this push. I'm completely overextended on that left-hand side, and my Tigers are kind of left out to dry. Still trying to make progress with the Reitjäger, but these BA-10Ms were certainly a nuisance. I'll tell you that much. They managed to keep my Reitjäger pinned the entire time. I've brought in some more Reitjäger. Again, these are to push down into the close point at the bottom side, since I kind of gave up on pushing the far left. Although I do have a few more Panzer Grenadiers on their way. If I can keep the Tigers alive for the time being, maybe that would work. So that's kind of what I was counting on. Meanwhile, we do manage to briefly capture back this flag. We've briefly captured back the flag on this side of the town, so reduced our time until defeat just slightly. But here comes some more Tigers. The intention is to join them with the ones on this ridge and just provide me with a base of fire that can just blitz into this objective. So drop in the smoke, getting the HE down as well, and the Reitjäger just going to make another attempt at driving onto that location. So 3 more VKs, 3 more Panzergrens. We're going to go for another push here. And I've also got a bunch of Grenadiers that are also going to try and make the run across. But this is an easier objective to take. So here come the Reitjäger, and you can see the HE shots now coming in after the smoke. I'm also putting some HE shells onto the left hand side to try and pin down any enemy AT weapons. So I've managed to get them up close and personal. The Reitjäger going to be looking for the Panzerfaust shot onto the BA-10M. Unfortunately didn't manage to do so because the Sapri managed to throw their HE weapon and destroy it. Ognemachiki now going to try and take the place of those. But we do manage to take them out. If you overwhelm those flamethrower squads, you can definitely kill them quite easily. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, the Strafniki, they're going to engage my Reitjäger, and 2 Ognemachiki squads now coming in onto those Reitjäger. So on the left-hand side, things aren't going too well. But on the right-hand side, we're doing okay. And with the help of the Tigers, we can engage some of this infantry whilst we advance. On the left, Loader's knocked out, Shooter knocked out by the PTRD. Not having a lot of fun with my Tigers over there, I'll tell you that much. But some lovely mortar shells do come in, help us clean up the rest of that infantry. Those 2-men squads getting hit almost directly by my corrected shot. These mortars, they're getting corrected shot from the Reiterführer that's further up here, and that's giving me the ability to take out those squads very nicely indeed. So back to 12 to 12, we've delayed things for a little while. My Tigers are now arriving, and I've actually got them on a quick hunt order to go all the way through this objective and help at close range with my Reitjäger, because since they're using PTRDs, Tigers shouldn't be too badly affected at close range. At least that was the intention. PE2 comes in. I have now moved up my SDKF Z71s though, and that's a lot of AA. So I shoot it down. Another lost aircraft for the Soviets, whilst I still have my 2 Me-410s available. I have lost a lot of fighters that I've been using, but otherwise all good. Do see there is some counter battery now coming in, does take out my Opel Blitz unfortunately. But here come the Grenadiers. I've got my Panzergrens moving up. And this was looking like a successful push to me. I have 4 Tigers, 3 VK901s, 3 Panzergrens in half tracks, and then 6 units of Grenadiers. So in my eyes, there's not really any way this could go wrong, because I do have the Tigers that can potentially fire up onto the reinforcements, so that will allow us to take control of this area. However, KV-1S comes out on top, manages to actually kill one of my Tigers, and then we see a Panzerschreck takes out a second Tiger, and just like that, I lose 2 of my Tigers, which are the basis for this entire push. So things aren't looking as good as it once was. These Tigers in the meantime have pushed all the way through the centre, helping us capture this flag. Going to be bumping into the Tanko Komrotti here to take them out. And, well, managing to capture this flag is a good start. But I want this one as well. Getting nice and greedy here as I push my Panzer Grenadiers into the trees. But enemy artillery is arriving, and it is going to start pinning down a lot of my infantry. Also shots coming across now from the Tiger, as well as AT guns positioned in that forest there is causing me issues because I can't flank around the right side of these trees. I can't do a pincer movement. And that's forcing me to go to the left, which allows the artillery to be a lot more effective. So all of my infantry is being pinned down very, very easily. I am still making a little bit of ground as the half-tracks come up, but I just don't have enough fire support coming in from the left-hand side since 2 of those Tigers are dead. Also, the PTRDs are able to kill these half-tracks, so if I'm not able to clean up the Strelki squads sooner than later, then my half-tracks will just die anyway. The VKs have all been obliterated by the shots coming in from the right-hand side. My Tigers also being artied now and stressed, so things really aren't looking good here as Musial continues to reinforce himself and we can't get shots onto that reinforcing road. IL-2's come in, hits the Tigers pretty hard in the centre. I decide it's time to fall back. I'm going to completely forget about this left-hand side. I basically realised that this was doomed to fail as there is a lot of units here defending. It's just about saving the units I can. The Tigers are reversing into the trees. I'm going to just hold this point that I've been successful in taking and be happy with that, because we have bigger problems. It's 13-11. We'll lose the game in 8 minutes and 45 seconds if we don't do anything about it. So what do I decide to do instead? I'm content with this capture on the left-hand side. I set myself up defensively, and now I'm going to be coming into the centre to support Masked Monkey. He has a couple of Nashorns here, and these can be really, really effective, but they need a front line, and that's what I'm going to be providing with my Tiger E's here. Then behind those I have my own Jagdpanzers, and I have the Nashorns. So we're going to be having a huge long-range engagement here against the enemy T-34s. The Nashorns using their chance to move forwards, since my Tigers have taken the majority of the shots. And the massive tank engagement ensues. It's incredible. I do have a bunch of APCR shells on these Jagdpanzer 38Ts, so that's all well and good. Some really nice hits there coming in from this bomber, the HE-111. I also decided to bring in a Panzer II-C Commander. This is very risky to use a commander like this, but it seemed like the right time to do so, as it does make all of these Hetzers 3-star veterancy. It also gives 2-star veterancy to the Nashorns, making them very, very effective against these T-34-85s. And you can just see how many of them we've already killed. There is, I think, 7 burning wrecks there. Make that 6 actually. But we are continuing to push them back, and this centre area turned into an absolute T-34-85 graveyard due to all of the engagements that have proceeded. So with that cover, I'm trying to get some grenadiers up to push into these trees. I'm also bringing up some infantry to help push back this flag, because if we can capture at least this flag, it will go back to 12-12 and we will have delayed the defeat for the time being. This flag is only just contested. Taking out the T-34-85 here would be perfect, and that is exactly what Imbrainsane's trying to do at the moment with his APCR shells on the Pak-38. So you can see that he has got an Oppo Blitz munition here, reloading those APCR shells to retain the effectiveness. Very smart move indeed. My left side push has been completely obliterated, and even my Tiger that was covering us on this side does get taken out. And now what's happening is Tiny Rick's coming in with a T-34-85 push on my far left side. I'm just going to be covering that off with a couple of grenadiers, but that's all that there is there defending for now. Meanwhile in the centre we're continuing to push them back. My Tigers leading the charge, the Hetzers just behind, and Masked Monkey bringing up the Nashorns in the rear. I've got my Panzer II-C on a follow command. If you click on a unit and right click on another unit, it will follow it. So make good use of that, and that allows me to keep the command radius around all of the surrounding units as I give them attack moves forwards, whilst leaving the Panzer II itself just slightly behind and out of range, because I'm going to most of the time be engaging at maximum range when it comes to those Tigers. A20C Boston tries to come in with a bombing strike. Absolutely no chance. We've got two 2-star SDK Z71s there. And I've got one on the right side. That's another 2-star variant. And we've got two Flak 43 37mm from Brainsane. That A20C was getting nowhere. So here comes the push. That's going to be a lot of tanks heading my way. A solid 8 T-34s breaking out into the open. I do have a Tiger up on the ridge that does manage to bail out one of the T-30-85s. And the only other units that they have that can really help out at the moment are these two sitting in the middle of the trees here. But they have their own job to do. We're currently waiting here in a nice ambush position. Look at this. Up the road. We'll turn around the corner and they get annihilated. We're going to be putting machine gun fire onto those Studebackers as well. And we managed to prevent that aggressive play into the center. Lots of smoke coming down here. Tigers being forced back. The T-34-85s actually do struggle to penetrate a Tiger at max range. So that's kind of what I'm exploiting there, with that Tiger still being alive. Panzerstrike Squad does get killed as it tries to push up on the left-hand side. We're also trying to make ground here as well. I brought in a lot of Reitjäger, and they're going to be joining my Grenadiers as we make a Soviet-style push forwards to try and take these trees. And if I can take this end of the trees, I can most likely take this end, which will give us that flag. It's currently 12 to 12 on the board. They're still going backwards every now and then to 13. And you can see it's only 5 minutes until defeat if they manage to hold on. They are still being aggressive after all. The smoke did allow my Tigers to recover a little, and they're going to be engaging some of these units, although we are being hit quite hard by the Ziz-3s up on the side here. But this Tiger's come out to play, and now we're going to be looking for the shots onto the T-34s on the left-hand side. I've got a bunch of Stugs arriving up on this hill, and they're hopefully going to be holding the line. So I just want to hold this capture point if I can. That's a priority, because if I lose that, we most definitely lose the game. And I've also got to stop these tanks from actually making progress, because otherwise I potentially lose this capture flag as well. So all to play for here as my squad in the center continues to push up. I'm joined by Masked Monkey's infantry. He's brought up some pioneers to join my Reitjäger and my Grenadiers. And we're starting to cut down the Russian infantry in our way, whilst I try and maintain my control in the center by hitting the center road. This is like the center reinforcing road, so my Tigers trying to get the job done there. We do find a bailout onto one of the Su-85s, and the other one gets a spalling. There's two AT guns here. They do manage to ambush and kill one of my Tigers. My Panzer II-C actually gets crew killed here, and although the Panzer II is kind of out of action, it can still provide the command radius, so that's not too bad. And since this Hetzer is engine destroyed and gun jammed, I decide to eventually invest into some supply to fix those both up and get them rolling again. SDKF Z71s were vital in the center here. You can see that there is a massive air engagement going on. I bring in my own ME-109 G6s to join the fray, because it's very important that we do continue to control the skies, otherwise they can use their abundance of IL-2s to pin down my Tigers and get the better of them. Now my ME-109 G6R6 really doesn't do well in that engagement. Gets hit pretty hard by enemy AA, but so does their aircraft. Two more Yak-9s going down there, and both sides heavy losses on the fighter front. Got these tanks now coming my way. Hoplites making a push, but on the left-hand side, the Stugs came up to the ridge, and they held valiantly. We lost two Stugs for the price of multiple T-34-85s, but we got these to deal with. Thankfully, in Brainsane's on the case. He's got his Pak-38 up on the hill. He's got his few Stugs here ready to go. And, well, we're going to lose this point. My Tiger does get overrun. It had another valiant defense, but just too many units coming our way. Not much I could do in order to reinforce, especially with these units in position. So I'm focusing heavily on my middle push here. My AA still trying its best here to stop the air attacks coming in as my Jagdpanzers continue to push up the road. We have managed to take out both of the Su-85s. The ZIS-2 now taking cover next to the wreck of its transport, trying to do some damage, but that is 2 more Su-85s taken care of there. My Hetzers were winning out for the most part. My Tiger's going to be reversing. It's going to be joining the Opel Blitz munition in order to get fixed up. But with both of these fixed up, I can now move them forwards once again and provide the extra veterancy to my Jagdpanzers, retaining their effectiveness. So HS-129B3 coming in from Imbrainsane. He's going to try and clean up some of these T-34-85s for us. He does manage to take out one, and he's going to continue to engage them from a right-hand side with the Stug 3s. And so far so good. Only 2 of the T-34-85s aren't panicked at this point. So we're in a pretty good position, and I've had time to bring up my own Stug 3s so that even if Hoplite does manage to get over the edge of the ridge, I can probably push them back with the 2 Stugs in position. My third Stug on the left side did unfortunately die as well, but like I said, a valiant defense definitely held back Tiny Rick's forces. I think Tiny Rick's investment actually on that far left side did leave him vulnerable to this center push, but as you can see it got to 1 minute and 23 seconds until victory for our opponents there. But then what do? We go ahead and capture at this point. You can see Saucy pinging that, making sure that we continue the push. Masked Monkey and myself just running towards it. I've literally got my Grenadiers in the open charging that point so that we capture it. And we're now 13 to 11. I've got a bunch of Hussars trying to push through the town on the left hand side, and all the while my Jagdpanzers here are sitting on the main road. They've all had their APCR now resupplied as well, and they are continuously under the command of this Panzer II, so they all still have 3-star veterancy, which makes them extremely effective and allows us to control these 2 points against this reinforcing road. So we now control the center. AA is in good position. Masked Monkey's also brought up his own AA. So really, really awesome. On the right hand side, Saucy not quite in control of the crossroad just yet, but has been doing a fantastic job on this side. Unfortunately for him, he has a Vanguard division, so he's only working with 110 income per minute at the moment, whilst myself, I'm running with the 170 income, which is why I was able to bring in so many Hetzers and Tigers in to the middle. It also so happened that I was floating a lot of points, so that helped me bring in so many in such a short amount of time. Now at range and in the open, the AT gun, no match for my Tigers and the Hetzers, so I'm able to start pushing up here and actually get into range once again of this turning, which allows us to kill off quite a lot of the units. So the AA that was being brought in there does get killed. My Hussars have made ground into the town without taking a single loss. Hungarians doing us very well. A Stug now taking shots from that 3-star 85mm. It's going to absolutely obliterate that Stug. Yeah, plenty of Stugs just on this left side now playing defensively. And that's all we need to do. Just hold this flag. Maybe try and take this flag back. But since we're making so much progress in the center, it would seem pointless to try and sort of change tack. So I've brought up my SDKF Z71s. They're still close and supporting. Or nice hits there from the bomber. Once again, does manage to kill off the T-34 70 or 85, which does allow my Hussars to continue forwards. That was my own bomber. It did get shot down in the end, which was unfortunate, but did the job I needed it to. So that cracks open the town a little bit and potentially gives us control of 2 flags. We're now 14 to 10 as Saucy does control now the crossroad. Really, really nice. We're still controlling this far point in the center. But my intention in the center here is just to have the Hetzers continue to stop these infantry as they advance. You can see the amount of wrecks here. The Russians just constantly trying to come on down, but every time they do, they get hit smack bang in the face. And that's what you need to do in order to maintain control on the center area here of this map. The Hussars take good care of the Gvardia. Again, the Hungarians not lost a man as they try and proceed through this town. We do see that Hoplite is bringing in his own infantry to reinforce, but we're so close to capturing that flag, and the lovely off map there from Masked Monkey is helping us out loads. So all these Stugs just chilling on the edge. I do have the Aufklärer here. The intention was to unload this recon because I was actually getting pretty low on infantry at this point. So there we go. I'm actually down to my last few units. The Panzer Grenadier is going to be coming over, and maybe we can take back this flag. But happy at 14 to 10. Although we barely have any points left, we are now in the lead technically. As long as we maintain more flags than our opponents, we will win the game. Minor defeat for the Soviets in 24 minutes and 54 seconds. So another aircraft going to be going down there. Absolute carnage this battle was. Stug 3 is going to be trying to take shots at the 85mm. Do manage to pin it down eventually. 3-star 85mm. Been doing a ton of work. And Brain saying bringing in some Jaeger Pioneers. And well, maybe we can make some ground here, but my remaining forces are just sat in the middle. I do end up getting hit by the Zis 3. My Hussars not in line of sight with their machine guns, so unable to take care of those, but continuing to push forwards here, the Hussars, against the Gvardia that continue to be pinned down by enemy or by friendly artillery. So we've controlled both of the town points. We've got the 2 points in the center. We've got the point on the right hand side. It's now 16 to 8. And our opponents will lose in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So an epic comeback, especially in the center. You can see the amount of T-34s here. Look at that. Absolute graveyard. Even a bunch of men still dead around the tanks. I believe these are German soldiers that were trying to advance. Amongst the wrecks did also get killed. And now, well, a lone Flak 37mm is covering the center with the Nashorn. I managed to get these Reitjägers all the way up to this position, but my intention now is to rush across and up this hill, since there's not really much point in me contesting this forest. That's what we're going to be trying to do. My Hussars, they're advancing through the light forest. If I can get them into line of sight of the Zis 3, then my Reitjägers will be safe to push on. That's basically what I'm waiting for here. That's why I've placed them in the town like that. So we're going to take care of that AT gun very, very quickly, as you can see. And now engaging the Gvardia up on the hill. I'm also going to tell my Hussars to take care of this supply truck. So that goes down. And now I give the command for the Reitjägers to push onto the hill and potentially capture that as well. The right side's being contested very heavily. Saucy, I believe, was holding on for dear life at this point. But the Panzer Grenadiers and half-tracks have unloaded on the left-hand side and now covered by the Stugs on the ridge. I'm hoping that I can potentially take back this flag. My Reitjägers in the center. They're pushing up. Do lose one of the Opel Blitz before it unloads, but the other ones, they're getting into the town. That one's going to get taken out by a PTRD. A second one gets taken out by the PTRD. That one just about manages to unload, and I find the commander squad right next to me. Two more I just unload early. I could have probably unloaded these, but I was really, really greedy. If I'd got them into the town, it would have been fantastic. But in this case, I'm just going to be forced to unload these last two early, with the first two being killed. So maybe could have made that a bit cleaner, but in the end, not going to happen. Selkie do get taken out. Going to be continuing forwards to try and take care of the rest, but that one's going to be surrendered, my Panzergrenz. So now I'm just pushing in hard with the Stugs to try and take the flag instead. The PTRD can't really penetrate the front of the Stug very well, so I'm going to be trying to use that to my advantage. Strafniki going to be able to get a track break on the right hand side. Just need to take care of those. And there goes the Aufkladder. Right, Jaegers managing to take care of the infantry on the hill here as we push up. They do have the MP44s. And we're going to be cleaning up those Gvardian nicely. So very, very close now to taking this hill as the rest of my Hussars join us. These Stugs, I'm trying my best to take this point, I really am. But these PTRDs from both sides are actually causing a lot of problems because we don't have turrets. But I take out the one on the right hand side, so now I can focus on the one on the left. And I've got a bunch more Stugs on the way anyway. The only trouble is I don't have much infantry, so that's why I'm using my Stugs at close range here. Since we've been in this game for so long, there is 59 minutes and 45 seconds in the game so far. That's the reason why a lot of people are running out of units. And that's why pushes like this onto the hill are kind of working. My Hussars managing to make some ground here. They're finding the mortar squads on the hill. We're putting pressure onto the artillery line of the Russians. And on the road remains my Tiger and Hetzer that have killed even more targets as they continue to come down. And for the whole game, my commander actually managed to stay alive. The Panzer II there that was so scarily put on the front line. But more grenadiers are arriving. We have captured this flag on the hill. It's 16-8 as the crossroads have been lost. But we have taken the flag over here as Imbrainsane moves forwards with his Sturmjäger units. He's going to be able to find the pin onto the Strafniki, and that pretty much seals the deal on the left hand side. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Mars Monkey able to come up with a bunch of Ersatztruppen, just some remainder units that he has on his division. I believe that Imbrainsane had quite a lot of infantry left as well, which is why he could push on the left hand side, and apparently he was using a deck that I created on my deck preview video. But yeah, I'm completely out. So I'm just working with what I got. The good old Hungarians here helping me out loads. The 16-man squads definitely holding their own. Now we're under fire by a bunch of 122mm mortars back here, really making my life difficult. And at that range they are relatively accurate without corrected shot. Stugs going to be engaging the Su-122, trade 1 for 1. Now those are going to be trying to push through on the left hand side here with the rest of my Stugs that had originally taken the road here. So in that push, I believe we only lost one Stug. The rest were just taking criticals. It looked really, really bad for a long time. But yeah, that Stug just sitting there with the criticals. I think we lost one. I don't know where the wreck is, but either way, there's wrecks everywhere. If you look at this town, it's completely leveled. It's just ridiculous. I don't think there's a house left standing. over here. And just wrecks of T-34s across the board, wrecks of planes, like deep in the ground. As that's Strupen, forced to be the last units pushing forwards. And while recon squad's trying to play defense, that definitely gives you an idea of how desperate it is on both sides. And my Tigers still taking out units on this main road. On the right hand side, briefly taking back that point, but Tiny Rick making a lot of ground now. There was a big old air engagement here, I believe. Or actually no, I brought in the ME-109s to strafe all of this infantry that was pushing really hard. So that's what we're doing here. Just having my ME-109s come in for strafing runs to try and prevent the infantry advance as much as we can. And just bringing in the remainder of my division. I've got a bunch of these 39M Sabres on the way. Again, the Hungarians coming to the rescue. The armoured cars are hard for them to deal with. Although saying that, they do have the PTRDs, so I think that's why I was moving them back here and trying to keep them at the 1,000 meter range, or at least the 750 meter range, which is still out of range of the PTRD, which has 500 meter range. So I basically had to try and micromanage that in order to hold back the infantry on the right hand side. Stugs here, in the meantime, they're currently getting hit by the 85mm up on this hill, and that was doing a lot of damage. Did manage to bail out one of my Stugs, but the Stugs really did hold on for me well. And Brainsane brought in a bunch of these Sturmjägers. He's got even more Stugs as well. And I'm going to be bringing in a couple of command squads to buff up our front line here. I do have this command squad, but bringing this one over does allow me to connect the commander. As you can see, it's quite a massive commander line here. Look at that. In order to give these 3-star veterans, you know, and just hold on to that left-hand side. Up the middle, we have just like got eyes on all of these 122 mils, and there's also the Studbeckers. So I'm going to want to try and take those out if I can. Actually put an attack marker on it, because Masked Monkey is flying his ME-109 G6s overhead, so I was hoping that maybe he would try and strafe those Studbeckers, because if they blow up next to the 122mm howitzers, it will do quite a bit of damage, or at least pin them down and stop them from being too effective. So that was what I was hoping, but didn't happen. Anyway, the Sabres still sitting on the side of the hill here, providing machine gun fire at a distance. Going to be able to take out the Gavadia squad. Now looking for the shot onto the Sapri. Just holding on as much as we can. And yes, there are units dotted all over the place on the map that probably could be pushed up, but you got to realise that I'm trying to concentrate on pretty much the entire map, as I do have units covering us in most places. So ME-109's now coming in for the strafing run. I did initially have them targeted on the 122mm mortars, but I do change my target onto the onto these trucks here, because they were about to get away. So as you can see, I get a nice double kill there with the ME-109 strafing run, and I'm going to be looking for the strafing run onto these two. And this ME-109 is going to be coming in for the strafing run onto this one. Those two mortars got taken care of the infantry that was nearby, so that was fine. And that truck blowing up actually kills off the mortar. Then we got this ME-109 coming in. Sorry about that. Strafing run comes in, blows up that one. Gonna have this ME-109 finish off the last two. So these are most likely trucks that have already used up all of their ammunition, but they're still pretty explosive, and they're going to blow up the trucks nearby. So just some nice kills at the end there from the strafing runs from the ME-109, and well, nice old breakthrough in the center. Wow, what a game. 1 minute and, or 1 hour, sorry, and 7 minutes has passed as 20 seconds until our opponent's defeat, and what a game this was. We were 1 minute and 21 seconds from losing. We managed to bring it back and win in the late game, even though we have 2 Vanguard divisions. That was really, really nice. Now, of course, our opponents did also have a Maverick division, which has very limited like income in Phase C. But there you go, 67 minutes and 28 seconds is the game time. And, well, what a game. I was actually unsure I was going to record this one. Like, you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Vulcan? That was epic. And yes, it was epic to play, but is it epic for my voice and doing a 1 hour commentary? Not so much, but thought I would just bite the bullet, get it done for you guys, and I think it was worth it. If we jump over to the team stats, we can see that I did get 9,953 kills, so close to breaking the 10,000 kill mark, which would have been epic. 7,180 losses, still the most losses on the entire team, but definitely made good use of the Group of Heartneck division. Masked Monkey and Saucy there doing well. And, well, all of my team did very well, very well. Masked Monkey in Brainsane just about breaking even. And then Saucy on the right-hand side getting the almost 9,000 kills to 7,000 losses. So, very, very good job by Saucy. Did manage to hold his own for sure. Make sure to go check out his YouTube channel, by the way. I'm not sure if he's going to upload this game from his perspective, but might be worth checking it out. Then on the opposing side, great opponents. Like, honestly, Tiny Rick, they all came at me from different directions. Both Hoplite and Tiny Rick attacked me with T-3485s. Muziel causing me lots of issues with his Tigers in the early game. There was so many challenges that I had to overcome during this game, both strategically and on a micro level. It was just so much fun to play, and hopefully I pointed out most of it to you guys whilst also providing those close-up shots. In terms of kills, let's go through these quickly. We have Reitjäger doing very, very well for us early on. This one killed 2 Sapari squads, the Ognemachiki and the NKVD. Also got the Panzerfaust shot onto the T-34-76. So a Reitjäger squad that did very, very well. My mortar here did manage to take out 2 AT guns for us during the game. Pack 40 there, cleaning up 3 T-34-76s. This was the one that was like tucked in on the right-hand side of the trees, which saved my early game so damn much. And you can see, like, in the early game, we didn't actually get that many kills, really. And then the Tigers come in and save the day. Like, that's pretty much what happened. Look how many kills these Tigers got. They were cleaning house with the T-34-76s, at least. This one also claiming a Tiger kill. My ME-410s didn't really do as much as I'd hoped they would. This one killing the T-34-76. AA was certainly important throughout this game, and we got plenty of air kills due to that. This SDKF Z71 with 2-star veterancy shooting down 6 aircraft. This Tiger taking out the Su-76 in the Zis-3, killing the AT guns. The Tigers were mostly just supporting my pushes, but some of them did claim quite a few T-34-85 kills. The Jagdpanzer here, this is one of the Hetzers that took out 3 Su-85s, 4 Su-85s, and then the Tiger in the center that took out a lot of tanks as well. I believe those were the 2 that were left towards the end, alongside the Panzer II command vehicle. And then it's just very spaced out, I believe. There is the awesome Hungarian infantry that did very, very well for me. This one took out the AT gun that allowed me to push aggressively with the rest of my Reitjäger. And Stug's holding the line towards the end. This one taking care of 2 Su-122s and an Su-76M for us. And then the ME-109s claiming those Studebaker kills. In terms of losses, you can see the Tigers being a pain in the ass in the early game, taking out my T-34-42 there and one of the Hetzers. Their T-34-76 managed to kill 3 of mine, which wasn't very fun, and this one also claiming a T-34 kill. Then the T-34-85s on the right-hand side from Hoplite, cutting off my reinforcements to that center objective. So I had to play very, very defensively, or at least very conservatively for a while. And this T-6 also causing us issues as we tried to make that one last push on the far left side. It did get broken down mainly because of that Tiger. The Reitjäger just getting chewed up throughout the game. A lot of my infantry just got wrecked. One Zis-3 did manage to take care of 3 Stug 3s, that's pretty nice. But otherwise, we didn't lose too much to one particular unit. This 85mm was the one on the far side on the left at the end. Killed 3 of my Stugs as I just made like a suicide charge with those Stugs. Yeah, apart from the Tigers, I don't feel like any specific unit in particular really caused us too many issues, as we did manage to overcome most of the problems as we came about them. And, well, there's your lot. That was one hell of a game and one hell of a commentary. I'm surprised I managed to get through it, but there you go. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'm really glad that I did bring it to you guys, and hopefully you guys appreciate the effort put into this one. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.